What's up, fight fans? Has this started yet? What's up? You like the shades? I just came in today to. We gotta talk about some shit that's going on in boxing. We need to pay attention to this right here. Can you hear me all right? Is it too loud? Cracking? Yesterday's stream seemed to be like right there, but the gain was just a little bit too high for my liking. It was popping a little. So just let me know if you can let me know before we start this off if it's just popping, if it's just right. I'm stepping away from the mic a little. What happens when I get a little closer like that? Just let me know a little bit before we get this started. If you're just tuning in right now, thank you for tuning in to Round One Sports Talk. We're going to be getting on with the show in just a minute. We got a lot to cover today, so let me just get set up and get ready. We'll get this show started. It seems like on my live thing, it told me that there was an error, so I shot another request, and it looks like I have two up right now. So, no, okay, I'm currently live right now. So, all right. All right, that's good right there. Sounds pretty good right there. I like that. Let me test out. How would I get to that feature once again? I would. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Mic check 1, 2. All right. How would I do that? I would. All right. All right. Let's get this started. Wow. Well, told you I was gonna get you something on Naoya Inoue and Luis Nares, right? Okay. And the thing is that I wanted to get back and touch on a few things that I had said about the fight itself, right? Before I get into that, because that's one of the juicy things I want to talk about. I just want to take this moment out right here to allow everyone to know that Jaime Ortiz, right, is going to be getting a send off. Well, send off from Worcester, Massachusetts, starting at 12 p.m. at the Girls and Boys Club in Worcester, Massachusetts. He'll be there. I believe a few representatives from the mayor's office is going to be there. There'll be a couple people there. And, we can give him a farewell, and the right way to kick it off. He stands a chance to win the WBO at 140 pounds. He's going up against Teofimo Lopez. Jaime Ortiz put up a hell of a performance against Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko. He came up short in the match. It is what it is. But now he's been given an opportunity where that you can see, even in a loss, your stock could rise. Jaime Ortiz is coming off, his last opponent where he went the distance there. Um, I can see in this fight where this is probably, undoubtedly, Jaime Ortiz's biggest challenge. So let's see how the local kid, does. Let's see if he can bring the goat home. I wish him the best. I expect to see him tomorrow. I'm gonna go down to the Girls and Boys Club tomorrow. Um, I'm hoping that I can get a moment with him, ask him a few questions. What does he feel about going into the fight and et cetera and et cetera. Um, and if I can get that, I'll bring that back to you guys. Okay. Um, well, speaking of which, the reason why I wanted to talk on this video as well is there's a lot of money being thrown around in the sport of boxing right now. And, I had it a hard time to being one of the people that believed that they were going to give this Japanese superstar $69 million to go to Saudi to fight, right? So I saw it everywhere. This YouTube channel was reporting it, this one. And I was saying, somewhere down the line, somebody's math just might be off, right? But I kept hearing it and seeing it. Okay. So what I did is I wanted to, start covering on some of the fights, right? Okay, so who's fighting next out there in Saudi? Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou, right? So I said to myself, hold up. How much money are they giving Anthony Joshua? Bro, I found out they're giving Anthony Joshua. They're giving Anthony Joshua $50 million. It's being reported that they're giving Francis Ngannou $20 million for that fight out there. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not a heavyweight title fight. That's not even a two top 10 opponents fighting. You do realize that, right? These are names. Yo, these Saudis, what they're doing for the sport and for some of these men spreading this love and this money like this, who else is going to flip a bill like this? Who's going to do that? Who's going to pay Anthony Joshua $50 million? Yo, them dudes is out there in the desert, bored as hell. They got all the money in the world, and they're like, let's put on some shit. We done did everything else. Matter of fact, bring boxing to us. I don't even think they care if they make money. At the rate that they paying these dudes, they're not. So now I really believe that $69 million they offered that Japanese superstar is true. If you're giving Anthony Joshua $50 million, he don't got no belt. He's not a champion. The Japanese dude got 4 belts, undefeated, revered among the best fighter, and you giving him 50? You got to be giving him 69, 70. I believe it now. I'm in on it. I'm like, yo, listen, you can't knock that. That they're gonna pull some of the best fights of 2024, and I have feeling that this is just the beginning of what them Saudi dudes are about to pull off. They got their hands in everything right now, and their name is being brought up in almost every major boxing event, and it ain't even been scheduled yet. They got Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou, and they already got Tyson Fury and Usyk locked in out there. Right? So, you don't even want to talk about Tyson Fury money right now, what they giving him. Right? Because they giving Anthony Joshua 50. Okay, listen. They're going to talk about who they want out there, and from what I'm hearing, is Devin Haney. They want Devin Haney just as bad as they want the Japanese superstar. Okay? Putting them on the same card. Yo, the Saudis don't care. They'll stack the card, right? And they'll give them all so much money that they won't mind stacking the card, because everybody's going to be like, damn, we all eating. Nobody can complain. Who cares who's the last fight, the second fight, when the co-main event is making just as much as the main event out there. They making everyone happy type shit. on some real shit. Francis Ngannou's getting $20 million in his second professional boxing match. I just want you to understand that, ladies and gentlemen. Let that sink in for just a little bit right there. $20 million, second boxing match. Jesus Christ. I don't think they're going to make $70 million on the Anthony Joshua fight with him. And if they do, they be breaking even. Never to listen. They're truly not looking to make a dollar. They're truly doing this to make the biggest fights happen for us and for them to also have a good night amongst friends and actors. And they're bringing all of that together. The parties after the fights and in between, leading up the weeks and stuff, must be off the hook. You know, them Saudis was like, yo, we doing this again. Matter of fact, we're going to do this often and frequent as possible. We like this. As long as you out there respecting and doing what you got to do, don't, you know, because they got different rules and stuff. And as long as they explain to you what's going on, you don't want to offend nobody out there. You know, I especially ain't trying to offend the prince, get kicked out of that party. You know, you don't want to be that guy. So, because, look, if they're interested in Devin Haney, the Japanese superstar, they already have Tyson Fury. That means they're coming after the best fighters in the world. They're making it real easy. They're opening up the checkbook like, Kang, what do you want? There's none. Just tell me what you want and then let's go. Yes, we buy it. What was the number? Yes. And the dude's like, fuck, I should have said higher. Right? Don't get too greedy, right? Because you'll be left out of the party, right? You'll offend them. You know, because they're being generous. They're being extremely generous. My God. If you fought, look, I know they, you know, behind the scenes, the Japanese superstars reported on paper that he only made X, Y, and Z amount. Maybe 3, 2.5, 7, 2.7 million dollars in the fight. But overall, through promotional sponsorships, you know, all that, everything adds up. So I figure maybe on a low, the Japanese superstar might have made like 8 mil or something, right? He reported 3, got like, you know, 8 might be a high number, right? But he might have squeezed like 6 or something like that, right? But to go from $6 million, even if I give him the high end, I'll give him 8, right? From going from $8 million to $69 million, bro, I would be looking past Luis Nares right now. Like, get the fuck out the way, bro. Get out the way. I'm trying to get over here. Look, like that money's already spent in my head. Like, I'm trying to spend it. I'm just sitting there like in my like $1 million house or something. I don't know what kind of house he got. But I'm just like, I know about the house I'm about to buy. I know what I'm about to buy. Like, get the fuck out there. Okay, so speaking of Luis Nares, right, and the Japanese superstar, I was on giving you guys, you know, basically an analogy on my opinion. Not really my opinion, because I guess my opinion would be the way I view it. I was kind of like breaking down a scenario of how Luis Nares got picked in this fight. Remember, I was saying that they probably called MJ first, right? And he wasn't ready, and then they went and probably called Luis Nares, right? But so now I think I stand corrected. I went on social media, and since I'm Puerto Rican, I'm Latin, I understand Latin, right? They got Luis Nares in an interview with one of the old Mexican champions, one of the legends, right? So he tells them, they chopping it up, right? He's chopping it with Luis Nares, and Luis Nares told him, right, I was going to go to the fight in Japan to watch Marlon Tapales and Naoya Inoue fight. He said, I wanted to be in the crowd. And Japan said no. They said, you're not welcome here. You're not invited. Please don't come. Because Luis Nares asked to go there because he wanted to challenge in the ring. Like, remember when Marlon Tapales went in? Okay. Luis Nares wanted to be in there, and he wanted to come in the ring and be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'll fight the winner, blah, 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 right? Okay. So, the old Mexican legend asks Luis Nares, why do you think you got this fight? And Luis Nares said, I know exactly why I got the fight. He said, the Japanese superstar requested the fight. He said the Japanese superstar told Luis Nares, I'm going to teach you a lesson for disrespecting my country. He never called MJ. He never wanted the MJ fight. He didn't want no other fight. Luis Nares said that the reason why they're fighting right now is because Naoya Inoue's promotional company called him. And they started, one had a translator type shit or whatever, but that the Japanese superstar wanted to, I guess, look into the camera or whatever to let him know why he wants to fight. He said, I don't want to fight anybody else. He said, you, move out the way, little promoter dude. That guy with the blonde hair. Yeah, the Mexican with the blonde hair. Yeah, that's him. That's him right there. You, come here. Come here. I'm going to fuck you up, yo. Yo. He told him. He said, listen. And then Luis Nares saw an opportunity there. And that's where the little delays happened. Do you guys remember? They announced the fight. Then, he wanted to make sure that he got, top dollar. And the Japanese superstar and them, I guess, their team. You know when it's usually when you're, negotiating, right? And you'll throw a number. Then they'll throw you a number back. Sometimes the number you throw them is a low number. You're supposed to, throw them a high number or whatever back. That's how you negotiate, right? Luis Nares team threw out the top high, crazy number, I guess. And they said yes. They're like, yeah. Done deal. There you go. Gave it to him. So, according to out of Luis Nares' own mouth, he's saying that this is personal. That the Inoue personally told him that this was personal. And that he was going to teach him a lesson. And that he was going to teach him respect. And that he wanted to do it in his country. And Luis Nares told him, if you want to knock me out in front of all your people, well, then you're going to have to pay me. And I believe they paid him so well, in fact, that the Mexican legend that was interviewing him hinted to the fact, how much money did they give you? And he said, don't worry about how much money they gave me. Just worry about the fight. When you say something like that as a boxer, they paid you a lot of money, and you just don't want other people, family members, friends, because as soon as that fight ends and that check clear, they're going to be like, we heard you say X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? So he, if it was an okay amount of money, you would say it, right? He said, listen, don't worry about how much they giving me, okay? Don't worry about that. But I'm telling you right now, if the Japanese superstar wants to knock that man out on a world stage in front of all his people and countrymen, he's going to have to pay that little Mexican dude in order to do that. And the fact that before he said it, Luis Nares was informed. In fact, this is why I'm saying this too. I needed to say this part. The Luis Nares fight, in fact, was actually sketched in stone before he got in the ring with Marlon Tapales, according to Luis Nares. That fight was already sketched in stone. It was already talked about. He said, if I knock this guy out, you're next. So When MJ fought the title eliminator, they did it to please the masses, also to keep his name relevant. It was a very good performance MJ put on that night. So I can see where he wanted to stay busy because you want to keep your name, relevant, and you also want to be the backup. Say right now, this fight is scheduled with Luis Nares, right? God forbid, I hope, knock on wood, both men make a healthy training camp. There's no hiccups, no delays. Like, remember there was a delay with the Stevie Kubo Fulton fight when the Japanese superstar reported an injury. There was a lot of rumors on what it was. I believe we got to the end of it, to the bottom of it. I forgot what it was, But anyway, I hope that there's nothing. But if by any chance something was to happen and Luis Nares did not make the event, they're going to look for an alternative. It would be a good alternative if MJ stood in shape, training, and prepared. So if anything like that were to occur, he would be the alternate, And that would stand to be a great fight too, because it wouldn't be a lot to change. They'd probably give MJ what they were paying Luis Nares. You know what I mean? They give it to him. He's worth it. So it wouldn't be like they have to negotiating the wee hours. Like, yo, take what we giving him. You take it? All right, boom, boom, let's go. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that stands to be interesting because, okay, now that we're on the subject, let's talk about it. He beats Luis Nares. The Saudis are offering him $69 million. Where's his next fight? Saudi Arabia. Against who? The Saudis are about wanting to put together big fights. The Saudis be talking reckless. I don't think they care or really considered what weight divisions are. The Saudis are about what's basically the hottest trending shit and what people on YouTube want to see. And what's going on YouTube is the Japanese superstar versus Tank Davis. Now that's not a fight you're going to make in his very next fight in Saudi Arabia. You could put one of the biggest price tags you want on it. I mean, Tank Davis would probably be down for it. Yo, sign him up. I think he'll be ready, But it would not be fair for the Japanese superstar. I don't believe. That would be one of those things I talked about. Them setting him up, making him an offer so big, so outlandish, he couldn't refuse. And he fell for the trap and goes up there and loses because he was just too small. And there you go. They broke all his records. One loss will sidetrack him, and then it'll always be debated. Oh, he's got a loss. That's it. You see, they didn't beat, and then they wouldn't have beaten him on the up and up, in his own weight divisions, shit like that. So the Saudis, yes, they are throwing around a lot of money, but I also notice that they like to pay and fight for names. For a name. For God's sake, Francis Ngannou is getting $20 million. And he's getting $20 million because of his name, Francis Ngannou, and what he's done, but not what he's done in boxing. He doesn't own a world title. He's never fought for a world title. He's never been ranked on any list. He's getting $20 million. So, it goes to show you that they are willing to put on these kind of fights. And they will give you the kind of money you're not going to say no to. Listen, let me tell you something right now. And I'm not joking. And I don't think none of you guys out there would be joking neither. I would not care how old I am right now. If they told me to fight the Japanese superstar for $69 million, and you gave me 30 million guaranteed, right? I just want to make sure I get 30 million. So when I'm brain dead and I can't function anymore in the hospital, at least my family got 30 million guaranteed. You can't rob them for that, okay? And if I can just hear, I want the rest of my money, damn it, right? Because that man gonna beat the hell out of you, right? But you wouldn't say no. You wouldn't say no to $69 million, man. And that's the part that's not funny. Because although I'm joking around and shit, that's how you can get a man like that to be enticed, to be brought up, wagering, and lose. But he wouldn't have lost on an even playing field. And they're going to fucking toot their horn like he did. That's how they're going to take away all these records from that Japanese dude. He has to be smart. You know, there has been a lot of moments in people's lives where actors, movie stars have been offered an outrageous amount of money. And coming from poverty and dreaming about a life like that, and here it is, it's all given to you in one shot. There's been very few men and women in the world that were able to say no to that and stood to their ground. And they said, if you were going to beat me, outact me, outsing me, whatever it was, do it on the up and up. Don't try to buy me to either shut me up, beat me unfairly, beat me on the up and up. Find someone to beat me in my weight division. That's all I'm asking. Let's do this the right way. No, man. They try to entice you with bags of gold where your eyes go bam and you can't say no. Thank God that the Japanese superstar has a nation behind him. In Japan, no matter if he's not the richest man there, he is the richest man there. You get what I'm saying? He's not missing anything. He doesn't need for anything in his home city. Whatever that man wants, he can get it. He might not be a billionaire, but I bet you he has billionaire friends that'll flip the bill for that young man. He doesn't need anything, technically, right? What they're going to try to entice him is, now you can have everything, and we'll give it to you if you fight this guy. Damn. I'm not sure I could say no. Everyone has their situation. Everyone has their price. You know, sometimes in life I try to deny myself of some pleasures because a man that's always being told yes to, or you can always get something, that's a slippery slope. It's like drugs, sex, anything. Too much of anything. You watch something too much, next month, all of a sudden you're in ball and chains. You just keep progressing down that road. You got to know when to pull back. You got to know when to say no. How far are you willing to go? Are you willing to risk it all for $1? And not just any dollar, $69 million. That's a lot of dollars. But, and then being the type of man that he is, right? Fuck, bro. You're truly being revered as the greatest fighter of our generation, of our time. The greatest fucking fighter of our time. Do you think that guy don't got a little bit of an ego? Or do you think, a man like that is like, nah, nobody can beat me. I can take this risk. I can take this opportunity. I can do it. And they're playing into a fighter's ego. Every time when they try to talk to Tom Brady or take him down or get him to talk trash about his rival, they would always point out some stat or statistic to try to bring him down. And he would go, oh, shucks, well, that's good for him. They were like, damn, he wouldn't, you know what I mean? They would always try to lure him, bait him, or get him to say something. And he was always on that shit. I just want to be a competitor. Just give me an opportunity to play. What I'm saying is, just beat him the right way, man. You know, there's too many times of my legends, we've talked about this, that there's always something that goes wrong. And there's always something that happens. You know, Roy Jones gets beat at um, heavyweight and, you know, or in his older years, you know, and I'm just like, and when he fought Gonzaga, you know, I'm just like, yo, that wasn't Roy Jones, man. You got to understand, they're like, oh, it doesn't matter. He beat him, you know, and I'm like, yeah, but what version of him? You know, listen, and a lot of people say that Lennox Lewis would always beat Mike Tyson. That's bullshit. That is straight bullshit, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, there was a point in time you could get the best version of Lennox Lewis and allow me to pick the best version of Mike Tyson. I don't think Lennox Lewis would have beat him. And there's just proof of it. When he fought guys like Razor Ruddock and all them dudes was lightning feet. Now, those were heavyweights. Go watch them highlights when Mike Tyson was dipping under them dudes, and he was gym dedicated still. He was trained so well that even later in his career, when he was in his darkest hours, sniffing coke, all coked out, losing his hair, coming to fights with patches, going through a divorce with his wife, he was trained so well that his remnants of what he once was carried him through those fights, bro. When he fought Lennox Lewis and guys like Evander Holyfield, he was a shell of himself. Mike Tyson was nowhere near on the level that he was when he was 20 years old. That was fucking Mike, bro. And yo, I don't care how fast Lennox Lewis was. I guarantee Lennox Lewis would have been laying on his fucking back, bro. Mike would have rocked that dude. That why you think he never fought him when he was back then? And then he gets on years later. Oh, I wanted to fight him. Bullshit. And they called Mike all coked out and shit, all humble Mike, feeling all in his feelings. No one's telling him that, dude, you're kicking and you're feeling. So he's sitting there just agreeing to everything. Bro, hell no, man. Hell fucking no, man. Mike know it like I know it. Young Mike, 20, 21, yo, he was different. Mike was real different then. He just understood better angles, positioning for his torque. Later on in his career, he always had to remain flat-footed and stationary to get off the shot. And later on in his career, he wanted to see the punch rather than throw it and it being there, like how his coach had him. It was just different. It was just different, bro. Yo, what's up, fellas? Round one, what up, all right? Rico Stone, what up, baby? Yeah, man, we was talking about it. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't check with y'all messages. You know what I mean? Yo, that they just throwing around this money like it's going out of style, kid. And I guess this is all true. You know, whatever the amount is, 60, 70 million, it's a lot of fucking money, bro, right? And to think that, like, they giving France, man, I can't get over this, $20 million in his second professional fight. Yo, thank you, Saudis, man. Yo, they changed that man's life. Yeah, he ain't never made no money like that, bro. In his life, not even in all his fights in the UFC. We already know it. So his business, it's been messy all over the internet with him and Dana White. You know, he made like $700,000 his last UFC fight. It wasn't even. It was like or 600,000. It was 600, right? It wasn't even near $1 million. And let's just put it this way. When you get $1 million for a boxing match, you never take home $1 million, right? After you pay your corner men, now you got to pay Uncle Sam. The government takes almost half of that money away from you. Whatever you make $10 million in a boxing match. You'll be lucky if you take 4.7 back home with you. Uncle Sam is going to take a big chunk of that money. That's why a lot of people will be, rich people will be like, man, don't give us taxes. Listen, and they take a lot of that money. They give you some of it back, whatever. But, okay, so you're never ever going to take that home. So if Francis Ngannou made $600,000 on the UFC, what they pay in taxes in that? He doesn't have a corner. It's not like in boxing. They provide one for you, really. And you got your coaches, so you pay in your camp. It's basically what they pay, right? Your training camp, right? So let's say you gave your training camp $14,000 for training camp in the UFC. Uncle Sam takes half. You mean to tell me that for putting your life on the line, taking a chance of being kicked in the head, plus coming into it, he was already the UFC champion. He was making a title defense. So you're UFC champion on a title defense. What the fuck? What did he take home? That man must have took home $120,000 out of that $600,000 if he was lucky. And that's for going in that ring in a meat grinder of a sport. 5 rounds. The surgery leading into the fight for his both knees cost more than what he took home for that fight. Yeah. And now they paying him $20 million in boxing. Thank you, boxing. Thank you, boxing. Had it not been for boxing, right? But they want to talk shit about boxing. Right? Bro, come on, man. That's fucking crazy. They give him $20 million in Saudi. Fuck it, just move out there. Don't pay taxes to Uncle Sam. You could keep all that $20 million. You don't pay taxes in Saudi. You know that, right? He fight there that night and just tell his wife and kid, we living right here. You keep every penny. You agree to come back home. Uncle Sam takes half, but you get $10 million. You gonna get 10, right? I might just stay there. Yo. So, I mean, what do you guys think, man? You know, is this good for boxing? I think so. With the event that they put and all the champions, the celebrities, you know, this party, bro, I would love to be a fly on the fucking wall. Just to be there. You know, if there was any chance on God's green earth, they was like, you're going out. Man, listen. Yo, I'm going out here. Listen, right? Because it's just everything that they have to offer I've never seen it in Vegas. You know, I've never seen that many legendary champions, things like that, sports athletes. For God's sake, you have Ronaldo sitting right next to him. You know, it was just like one legend after another. And you looked into the crowd, and it was just one after another. And you didn't know who else you saw there. And it wasn't just the boxing legends, if you noticed. Because they would show like the boxing legends, and like right in the back of boxing legends, there was like movie stars, actors, you know, other sports players. You know, you could see you were like in the crowd going, "Oh, that's this dude, and that's this guy." So it's so big. Yeah. I was impressed. So what do you guys think about it, man? What all right? Whoa. Espinosa. That's who they're gonna drag him out there to the desert with, maybe. That's a good fighter right there, you just said. 126, fifth weight division, WBO champion. The paperwork can make him the mandatory. He won't be able to slither out. The fight would be on for a title if the Japanese superstar shows up. Espinosa, the kid's gonna show up. He's 6'1", like you said. Um, hmm. Okay, what made Espinosa dangerous and ready inside of that fight was that Espinosa knew how to uh, weather the storm. Okay, Ramirez gassed out, but I can't say too much that Espinosa didn't break him down in a sense because he kind of did, right? But he did kind of break him down, but I believe like what affected Ramirez was his gas tank, and I think his preparation wasn't all the way. Um, I don't think you can do that to the Japanese superstar, and I think he has what it takes to weather the storm. I think the only way Espinosa catches up to the Japanese superstar is if he slows down. The Japanese, he would have to break. That means he would have to be landing punches. Although tall and lengthy, the Japanese superstar has enough spring in his step and enough mobility to catch young Espinosa. As you can see, it wasn't Ramirez's problem landing punches because he dropped Espinosa several times, so he can get clipped. The thing is to just keep him down. I believe the Japanese superstar is just that much explosive than Ramirez, and he offers a more durable gas tank. Where that if he had to go into the later rounds with the long, lengthy Espinosa, I believe that he will have more than enough to hurt him, keep him off of him, and also keep Espinosa thinking. I don't think he's going to have the same kind of confidence where he saw that Ramirez was breaking down gradually. You could see it in him. I don't think he's going to get into that moment with the Japanese superstar. I don't think that moment's going to occur. You see? So Espinosa, although he is lengthy and tall, I don't think that he has the kind of pinpoint position and enough speed to really effectively land that longer punch. I believe he's going to want to fight in the inside, and the Japanese superstar is just so crafty. You know, there have been many, many faster fighters, and he has floated effortlessly around their jab and made his way in. He knows how to come in on an opponent, and if he can get touched like that, he's gonna go down in that fight. The Japanese superstar, it will be a tough fight. I believe that Espinosa will want to keep him out on the end of his punches. I just don't think that the Japanese superstar is gonna be there. Okay, gentlemen, I have to wrap this up. I love you guys, fight fans, and listen, we'll be talking about this. What do you guys think about these Saudis and everything that's changing in the sport? So I will make another video. I got some more news for you guys upcoming. So like always, I'm on to the next video after this video.